Cameras may not have been permitted in the courtroom, but what unfolded that morning inside Utah's district court has become the story on every headline, every news broadcast, every whispered conversation across the country. This was not just another trial. This was the public reckoning of Kody Brown, the man who once called himself the king of sister wives. Reporters had camped outside for hours. News vans lined the streets, and former fans of the TLC show crowded the sidewalks, desperate to witness the downfall of the man who had spent decades presenting himself as untouchable. And then, at precisely 9 o'clock, the double doors opened. Kody Brown entered, escorted by 2 U.S. Marshals, his wrists shackled in iron cuffs. The man who once strutted with patriarchal pride now shuffled forward, gray suit wrinkled, curls falling loose over his forehead. He looked less like a husband and father, and more like a ghost of himself, an empire collapsed into a man barely holding on. Beside him walked Meri Brown, her body rigid, her eyes downcast, her hands trembling as if the weight of every paper she had ever signed now pressed against her skin. Silence followed them as they took their place at the defense table. But across the aisle, standing tall with an icy calmness, was the woman no one expected to see in that position, Robyn Brown, the so-called favorite wife. The woman Kody had sacrificed his family for. No shackles on her wrists, no guards at her side. Robyn stood free, and her glare at Kody pierced the room like a blade. For years, fans had believed she was protected, untouchable, the chosen one. But in that moment, it became clear. The loyalty was dead. Robyn wasn't defending Kody, she was testifying against him. The judge entered, his gavel striking with finality. Court is in session. United States versus Kody Brown and Meri Brown. Charges: wire fraud, tax evasion, identity theft, conspiracy to defraud the federal government. The words rang out like thunder. The gallery shifted uneasily. The phrase identity theft hung in the air like a poison cloud. Kody fidgeted. Meri blinked slowly. And Robyn? She sat like stone, her eyes fixed straight ahead. The prosecutor, Dana Carville, was not there to entertain. She was there to destroy. Known for her ruthless precision, she began pacing before the jury. "This is not a tabloid headline," she declared. "This is a federal case. At its center, 2 individuals who used their fame, their family, and their trust to build an empire of fraud." She lifted a hand and pointed directly at Kody and Meri. But the real twist came when she turned and gestured toward Robyn. And they did it by stealing the identity of the very woman who once trusted them the most. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Screens lit up with charts connecting fake LLCs, all tied back to Kody and Meri. Companies like Spirit Living LLC, Sacred Holdings, Sister Growth Network. But the tax ID, the name, the legal trail, it all pointed to Robyn. Her life had been used as camouflage for Kody's greed. And then Robyn herself took the stand. Her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted the microphone, but her voice was firm. "I loved Kody. I believed in him. I followed him. And he used me." She opened a folder, emails, records, transaction histories, all proving that her name had been forged, her trust violated, her life weaponized. The room froze as recordings played, Kody's voice captured in secret. "If the IRS audits us again, we'll just say Robyn handles it. She won't talk. She never does." Meri's voice followed, calm and complicit. "I already changed the mailing address, Kody. It's clean." The gallery erupted in whispers. Kody clenched his jaw. Meri's face drained of color. Robyn stared ahead, unflinching. But just when everyone thought they had witnessed the peak of betrayal, the courtroom doors opened once again. Heels clicked against the marble floor, and in strode Christine Brown. Gone was the quiet, gentle ex-wife viewers remembered. Christine entered like a storm, hair pulled back, dressed in black, eyes blazing with righteous fury. In her hand, a flash drive. She walked straight to the prosecution table and declared, "I have the evidence you've been missing. I know where the secret accounts are. I know what he did with the trust funds for the kids. And I know how he used my name too." The gallery gasped. Kody groaned, head falling into his hands. Meri went pale as a sheet. Christine handed over the flash drive and revealed everything. Secret cabins and Flagstaff hidden under fake names, offshore accounts funneled through crypto, money laundered through phony wellness businesses that Meri herself had signed off on. Every secret Kody thought he had buried came pouring out into the light. And as Christine's voice shook with rage, she pointed directly at Meri. She knew. She helped. She signed the papers. It was betrayal on every level. The judge's face hardened. Meri covered her face with her hands, a single tear rolling down her cheek. And just when it seemed the case couldn't get more explosive, the doors opened again. The second storm arrived, Janelle Brown. Calm, steady, but carrying a single folded page that would blow the trial wide open. She revealed a storage unit Kody had rented under a false name, containing burner phones, cash, and ledgers linking him to the fraud. She turned to Kody and spoke words that cut through the silence. "No, Kody. It's exactly what it looks like. You're a liar. You betrayed all of us." The room erupted. The walls themselves seemed to hold their breath. 3 wives, once silent, once broken, now united in a chorus of truth. Robyn betrayed, Christine enraged, Janelle unwavering. Meri shattered. And Kody? His empire had collapsed. And yet, the most shocking moment was still to come. A sealed manila envelope arrived in the courtroom, addressed only to the judge. Inside, a notarized deed proving Kody had transferred 70 acres of Arizona land from his late mother's estate into a fraudulent trust, with Robyn listed as the sole beneficiary, without her knowledge. Emails to offshore brokers revealed Kody's ultimate deception. Robyn was never meant to inherit anything. She was only a shield, a name he could hide behind while he built his secret empire. Robyn's face broke. Her hands shook violently. Even she, his chosen wife, his final loyal defender, had been nothing more than another pawn. The courtroom erupted in gasps, the judge pounding his gavel for silence. Christine stared at Kody with disgust. Janelle smirked at the truth finally rising. Meri wept openly. And Kody, once the untouchable patriarch of sister wives, sat broken, exposed, and utterly alone. The second day inside courtroom 6A felt different. Heavier, darker, as if the very walls knew the truth was about to crush someone's soul. The air was so tense that every shuffle of paper, every cough, every creak of the wooden benches echoed like thunder. Robyn Brown sat stiff in the witness chair, her eyes darting nervously as Prosecutor Carville slid a projected image onto the giant courtroom screen. It was a scanned copy of a land deed, her name printed in bold, her signature flowing across the bottom. "Mrs. Brown," Carville asked, his tone icy and deliberate, "is this your signature?" Robyn's lips trembled. "No," she whispered, her voice catching in her throat. "I never signed anything. I never got land. If Kody did this, it was behind my back." Gasps filled the gallery. Carville wasted no time. Another document appeared on the screen, an agricultural exemption form filed in her name just last year. "And this?" Robyn's eyes widened as if she'd seen a ghost. "I never filed that. I didn't even know it existed." Carville turned to the jury, his voice booming. "That makes 3 separate times Mr. Brown has used Robyn Brown's identity to commit a financial crime." The silence that followed was unbearable. Kody slammed his palm on the table, his face twisted in rage. "This is insane. Robyn's angry with me, that's all. Christine and Janelle are liars, and Meri betrayed me. Now I'm the villain for trying to safeguard what was mine?" The judge's glare cut across the room. "Mr. Brown, sit down before you're removed." But Kody refused, standing tall, defiance dripping from his every word. "I gave my life to these women, built a brand, raised 18 kids, and now they want to paint me as some criminal mastermind?" From the gallery, Christine stood abruptly, her voice slicing through the room like a blade. "Because you are one." Security stepped forward, but Judge Reynolds raised his hand. "Let him speak briefly. Let's hear what Mr. Brown believes is his truth." Kody's chest heaved. "The fan money wasn't sustainable. The base was shifting. If I didn't build a safety net, we'd all be destitute by 2025. Robyn was my only supporter. I never thought she'd betray me." Robyn shot up from the stand, fury trembling in her voice. "You stole my name, Kody. You made me your puppet criminal. You never protected me. You exploited me." The trial wasn't just exposing fraud anymore. It was tearing down the walls of a reality TV empire live in front of the world. Christine rose again, this time with Janelle at her side, clutching stacks of files. "Your Honor," Christine announced, "these are the financial records Kody kept hidden. He funneled residuals from sister wives into a Cayman Islands firm." "That firm's owner?" "Rob Brown." The courtroom erupted. "He made over $500,000, Christine continued, while telling us, and telling Robyn, that there was nothing left. That we were broke. She handed the court Kody's own journal, a leather book recovered from the Flagstaff cabin. Judge Reynolds flipped to an entry dated July 14th. His voice echoed as he read, "After the network drops us, I'll fake a breakdown. Tell them I'm finished with the wives. Then split with the money. Robyn can deal with the fallout. She always trusts me." The silence that followed was deafening. You could almost hear hearts breaking across the gallery. But Janelle wasn't finished. She walked forward with a manila folder clutched tight. "This is what we found in a storage unit Kody kept in Flagstaff," she declared. 6 hard drives, 15 burner phones, $42,000 in cash. And this. She held up a legal document. His mother's will. The real one. "This version leaves everything to Christine and me." But it was never filed. Judge Reynolds frowned. "And the difference?" Janelle's voice shook with fury. Kody filed a forged version, naming a fake trust instead. He stole his own mother's legacy. The room exploded in disbelief. The fraud had now escalated to federal estate tampering, a crime that meant mandatory prison. FBI agent Ramirez took the stand, her voice steady and final. "This is not simple fraud. These are layered, deliberate schemes. Identity theft, tax evasion, and estate forgery. The recommendation is clear: maximum sentencing. 35 years. Gasps rattled the room as Kody slumped into his chair, his confidence finally cracked. Meri rose next, her eyes bloodshot, her body trembling. "I didn't know about the will," she cried. "I didn't know about the land. I only did the LLCs, I helped with paperwork. But this was too much. Kody, you said you loved us, but you staged us from day one." Her words cut deeper than any lawyer's argument. But the blows kept coming. The court clerk entered with a sealed envelope, handed directly to the judge. "Anonymous source," the clerk said. But the handwriting matches someone who worked 6 years in the Brown household. The judge's eyebrows rose. It was their accountant, Dahlia Weaver. Under federal protection, she had flipped. Her deposition confirmed everything: the fake will, the offshore transfers, the duress she worked under. Kody froze, his face pale as marble. Every lie, every forgery, every scheme, verified by the one person who knew his books inside out. The judge's gavel cracked the silence. "In light of this new evidence, I am issuing an immediate hold order. Mr. Brown will be transferred into federal custody. Mrs. Brown, Meri Brown, will remain under house arrest until sentencing." Gasps filled the room as marshals approached Kody. Shackles snapped around his wrists and ankles. Meri wept silently as an ankle monitor was fitted. And then Judge Reynolds delivered the final blow. "Court resumes tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. At that time, Robyn Brown will testify, and she is rumored to unveil the truth about Kody's most recent living trust and his plan to leave this country altogether." The gallery buzzed in panic. Christine turned to Janelle, whispering he was going to run. Janelle's face hardened. Robyn sat trembling on the stand, holding back tears, her folder clutched like a lifeline. She had proof of a hidden bank account, a burner passport, and a phony name. Kody Brown hadn't just betrayed his wives. He was days away from vanishing forever. The courtroom was no longer just a place of judgment. It had become a theater of truth, a stage where every secret, every betrayal, and every hidden agenda was dragged into the light. When Judge Reynolds delivered the sentence, 35 years in federal prison without parole, the gavel echoed like a funeral bell. Kody Brown, once the patriarch of a sprawling empire, was now reduced to chains, shackles, and silence. But even as the marshals pulled him toward the back doors, the chaos was not over. Another envelope appeared, this one addressed to Christine alone. Her hands trembled as she unfolded the paper. Inside, one final twist. A secret offshore account in Truly's name. $1.2 million. Money hidden, money laundered, yet money left for his daughter. Christine gasped. Janelle clutched her arm. Meri covered her mouth. And the gallery, reporters, fans, even strangers, erupted into whispers that rolled like thunder. Kody's last move. A gift or perhaps another manipulation? Even from prison, he wanted to control the narrative. Christine read his words aloud. "She was the only one who never judged me. Perhaps this will change that. I don't ask for forgiveness. I just want something of mine that isn't hate." Her tears fell, but her voice hardened. He's still trying to dictate terms. Even now. And with that, the saga cracked open further. The Department of Justice launched a probe into TLC itself. Whistleblowers came forward. Former producers admitted falsifying expense reports, staging breakdowns, bribing cast members with bonuses for scripted fights. Footage leaked of Robyn being told to cry again but louder. Clips showed Meri being pushed to confront Christine for the sake of ratings. The world saw it all. The manipulation, the coercion, the way a family's real suffering had been sold as entertainment. The headlines came like a storm. Kody Brown sentenced. Sister wives' empire collapses. Reality TV on trial. But in the midst of the chaos, something extraordinary happened. Christine, once silenced, stood before a packed bookstore holding her memoir. Unscripted, My Life Beyond the Lies. The crowd rose to their feet. Applause thundered, and she spoke words that cut deeper than any gavel strike. I regret a lot, but I don't regret shattering the silence. Because silence was the cage, and truth is freedom. Behind her, Janelle's tears glistened with pride. Meri, humbled and on probation, quietly nodded. Robyn, now hidden from the public eye, whispered in the shadows of her own solitude. And Kody Brown? Gone. Not just behind bars, but erased from the empire he once commanded. His downfall became not just the story of a man, but the story of a system. A system of secrets, scripted pain, and unchecked greed. And now, for the first time, that system was on trial. Because this was never just the fall of one family. It was the reckoning of an entire industry. And the world was watching.